Welcome to Elevated Sports. I'm Kyle Johnson. As you can see, Billy's not with me tonight. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it, but we're doing something a little bit different. And Billy and I have been in discussions. We're thinking about doing some different things, but I'm going to wait till he's on before we go into further detail on that. But tonight, we're going to be talking about some high school football. It's a little something different. We haven't really talked about it, but we're going to start talking about it. So, I'm repping my high school, Keswick Christian School, in St. Petersburg, Florida. And Friday night, they have a game. They're playing against Indian Rocks Christian School. This will be the second time they've played against them this season. Last time they played them, they won 21-0, coming off a somewhat it was a rough loss the week before. They led going into halftime. And then the defense gave up 26 points in the second half. But they were able to bounce back in the second game of the season against Indian Rocks to beat them 21-0. This is now the fourth game of the season, hoping to continue with a hot defensive streak. We're going to see how they perform against Indian Rocks this year. And before the game, I got a chance to interview Keswick's head coach, Coach Phil Hayford.
I'm living the high life. I got two Keswick graduates right here.
Yes, sir.
Man, I think it doesn't get any better than that, guys.
So, Coach, tell us a little bit about yourself before we get started.
Well, I think that the number one thing that I think, as far as I'm concerned, is I think I was put on this earth to coach football. And when I say coach football, but use football as a vehicle to coach life. And when I say that, I know a lot of people say, well, you didn't know what their purpose was and all those kind of things. Well, I think God had a purpose for me, and He set me here, and I'm just trying to do the best things that I can do to glorify Him.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's the best answer that could have been given right there. All right, Coach. So this has been a unique season for you, both on the field and off the field. Of course, we're in the middle of a pandemic, so that just makes it crazy itself. But you're also in your 50th year of coaching. What keeps you going?
I think it's crazy. My wife this year, when we didn't know if we're going to have a season, didn't know when it was going to start, and so they said, well, it's going to be August 24th. We're going to start, and so August 24th, she gets up and she says, "What are you doing?" It's 5 o'clock in the morning. She says, "What are you doing up at 5 o'clock in the morning?" I said, "First day of football practice." She says, "You still feel the same way?" I do. I still feel the same way. I just think that it's, I don't know. I guess I didn't find football. Football found me, I guess, is what happened. I'm from Nebraska, and I was adopted. My mom and dad got me when I was 1 day old, and they always, influenced me a little bit, but never forced me into, anything like that. But I can remember when my mom moved out of her house when she was elderly, and she gave me the 3x5 cards, a big packet of them like this. And I'm looking at it, I said, "Mom, what is this?" And she says, "Well, those are the cards that you used to draw up for the plays when you guys used to play, on a vacant lot." Well, they didn't make much sense, but I guess maybe it's just my blood. But I think that's I don't. As people say, I don't golf. I found out I can't golf because I stand too close to it when I hit it. After I hit it, I don't have any really hot. I don't like to fish. I like to catch. I don't like to fish. I don't smoke and I don't chew and I don't go with girls to do. So here I am.
That's awesome. And you, I believe, so I've been announcing. Well, I've announced one of the Keswick games on their live YouTube channel.
Right.
But you are the most winning coach in Pinellas County history, correct?
Coach? Yes, that was it's not an honor for me because when we got close to that, I didn't even know what my record was. They'd come up to me and say, "What's your record?" I didn't know, so we had to contact the newspaper. But it's an honor for me because if you look at it, that's 40-some years of kids that have been playing for me, and just the fact that that they did all those kind of things I've asked them to do, I guess it just kind of builds up a little bit. The main thing I think about being the winningest coach is somebody asked me one time, it's the relationships that I have. I went to a kid's 50th, not a kid anymore. I went to his 50th surprise birthday party, and my wife said, "Well, you sure want to go?" And I said, "Yeah." We went, and here was all the kids that I coached, and they're still, and I call them kids, but their parents were there too, and such as all these relationships that I've developed over the years. When I moved in here, I'm in the middle school. I think it was I'd have been like the middle school principal's office there, And so people are helping me with that. And one of the guys says, Coach, he says, is there enough room in here for all the plaques and trophies you have on the walls and, and all this stuff? I said, my trophies are walking around town. There's successful businessmen, the dads, those guys. Those are my trophies. So I think it's just the fact that, that I love what I do, and again, was it me finding it, or I don't know. I really don't know. But I think that's where it goes back. And I said, God said, this is what you need to do. I see kids that are searching all the time. I used to teach a health class, and I'd say, what are you going to major in next year? The senior, when they're going to leave, and they go, I don't know. I said, major in something that you can earn money doing. I said, philosophy. I'm looking it up in the phone book. There's nobody philosophy, what? So, I've tried to give out, information and stuff, talk to kids like that, stuff. So.
Cool. That's awesome.
You're getting crazy answers, aren't you?
No, I like it.
That's me. I don't care.
All right, Coach, we're 3 games into the season. What have you learned about this team so far that has surprised you?
Well, I tell you, the first thing, the big surprise that I got is I hadn't seen anybody since March when they closed schools, and because of COVID. And, there were some of them, I'm texting back and forth and those kind of things. And so what are we going to have? Who's going to show up? 41 kids on this team. Big surprise. Boy, I tell you, that's a big surprise. The next thing I think has been just a great surprise is their want-to attitude. It's probably part of it is for all those months they weren't really cooped up. We'll say that they stayed home, but they were at the beach and stuff. But they couldn't do all the stuff that they wanted to do with their friends. And I think gave them an opportunity, so that's where they all showed up here. And it's just been that great want-to attitude. We got some great news yesterday. We found out we made the playoffs. Really? Second year in a row.
Awesome.
And they told me it hadn't happened since 2007, I think. And we won it last year, or not won it, but we got into the playoffs last year, and now we're in this year. So we're playing at home on November 13th. We're playing Cambridge Christian.
Wow!
So
congratulations, that's awesome.
Yeah. So it's my first practice here when I got hired in the spring. I came out here and there were 12 guys, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be tough. But by the next practice, I'd had 20. But I think that you just try. And I'll tell you, not every kid that's out here is a football player. They're out here for a lot of different reasons. But there's kids that are pretty good, are good football players. Then there's kids that like to do it, but it's not dedicated. There's some kids that probably are doing it because dad said to do it. And there's some kids that are doing it because their friends are doing it. And I know there's some kids that are playing just because they get to wear their jersey on Friday. And I've got kids, I will never identify them, but I got kids out there that need us more than we need them. And so I think, when you start, working with kids and talking to them about that, I see somebody and I notice at lunch he's eating over in a corner by himself, and I'm thinking, he needs an identity. Hey, you ought to come out for football. Oh, I've never played. Doesn't matter, And it's funny because once they get that on, they become a team and they got an identity. And a lot of times that'll stay with them, all the way through high school and even after high school.
So true. That's awesome.
Yeah. Did that answer the question?
That did answer the question. All right. So defensively, the team has not allowed a touchdown over the past 2 games. And that was a pretty distinct difference over the first game where 26 points were given up in the second half alone. What adjustments were made?
Well, I think, and I said this after we played the first game. I said, we came in, the guys really worked hard. And our first half looked good. I thought we looked, we were right there with that team. And Bishop McLaughlin's a good team. I've noticed they've won all their games, I think, since we played them. But they were a good team. And then the second half, that was my fault because we didn't work enough on finishing and putting in, things as far as, when you get tired, you got to get somebody in, or you can take a break, or those kind of things, or just pushing yourself a little extra. And so that was my fault. And so I think that that was my deal. And so I felt bad about it because, like I said, I think we played good defense the first half, and then we had played it all right along. And so we'll make adjustments as we go. So,
right.
But I'll tell you, these last 2 games, guys, just our kids. Some people say the defense and it's the same guys. That you look at them, they're the same. Playing all, but they're really playing just lights out. They're really doing a great job.
They are playing very well. Through the first 3 games, you have 4 different players with 19 or more carries. How big is that for the team to have so many different options to run the ball?
Well, that's one of the things we're running. It's called a single wing, and I ran it. I don't remember 20, 25 years ago or something like that. And the thing I like about it is you can have 4 guys in the backfield. You can have any 4 of them run at any time. Because you can run reverses and handoffs and do a lot of different things. But I think it's good because those kids can interchange anytime you want to. But then you've also got guys that are on the sideline that know. I've got a couple of them that know one play, and I can put them in for that play, and they'll do just as well as anybody else. They don't have the whole offense down, but I think that's a great thing about the single wing, and I think that's probably why I coach football. It's a great sport because there's some places you can for everybody. There's a spot for the little short kid. There's a spot for the big kid. There's a spot for the kid that can't run, for the one that can run. And you just it's my job to find those spots and get them in there. But I think that, going back to your question, I think the single wing is the answer. The one where we go double tight, that's called the Notre Dame box, which is, I didn't come up with it. Newt Rockney did. But, I think there's a lot. You're going to see something come this week, too. This is not going to be on before tomorrow, is it, or anything like that? No?
I wouldn't go into any details.
Okay. All right. Watch out for the stupid sweep.
The stupid sweep? All right.
But we try to have fun with things too. That's
right.
The other thing is I think you try to move kids around a little bit and let them do some different things and stuff. So,
right. Yeah. You kind of dove into one of my questions with that last one. Last time you played against Indian Rocks, you ran what was arguably one of the greatest touchdowns of the year, and that was a trick play with a pass from Bryce Artsy to Lincoln Rosenthal.
Bryce Artsey's my grandson. Did you know that?
I think I did know that.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Bryce is 3 for 3 passing this season with a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of already answered the question part of this, which was any more tricks up your sleeve. And without getting too far into it, it sounds like you do.
Oh yeah. The one thing I think is when I call them Barnyard Plays. But I think when you have those barnyard plays, you practice them during the week, and the kids think, "Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool." And it kind of livens up practice for that, little section. And then they kind of look forward to, when are we going to do that in the game? Are we going to do that in the game? And I've always said, if you're going to practice barnyard plays, put them in. With that, no risk it, no biscuit.
Right. So you like, this is totally off script at this point. Do you like to throw in one kind of barnyard play every single game, or?
Oh, it depends. Yeah, I like to use them because
right.
I think it does a number of things. I didn't notice it, but then I watched the feed from Indian Rocks Christian, and the guy called me Nifty Shifty or something like that. Nifty Shifty Hayford or something like that. And so it's kind of neat because I'm not. They could do that stuff just as easy as anybody else. I think a lot of people don't do those things because they're afraid that if it doesn't work, they'll look bad. Well, I don't care. Give it a try. And if it looks bad, it looks bad.
Right.
So, but yeah, we got. We try to keep something, something out there so we can do some things. And again, I think when you have players like we have that have so many abilities, different abilities and stuff, you can run and pass and do a lot of different things. Shoot, you can do a lot of things.
Right.
Not handcuffed.
Very freeing. Only a junior, Anthony Weaver, has found the end zone 6 times, 5 times on the ground, and he leads a team in tackles. He's not just playing both sides of the ball, but he's leading on both sides.
Right.
How big of an impact has he had on this team?
Well, I think he's had a big impact on us. There's no doubt about it. Last year we were playing Lakeland Santa Fe, and I can't remember what the situation was, but anyway, he dislocated his elbow, and so we lost him for like 3 or 4 games. And when you lose a guy like that in 3 or 4 games, both sides of the ball, you lost him, and it's not like he made a few tackles or he made a few yards, but now you got somebody that is doing a lot, and it's hard to find somebody to step back in. So I always look at I'm glad he's doing great and all those kind of things, and then if you took him out, where would you be? And that's what we try to work on, during the week too. Is what if that happens? But we don't want to have wheels fall off the wagon. We got to keep going. So
you don't want to be too reliable on one player.
3 wheels on the wagon, you still roll.
Right. And then last question, You're playing Indian Rocks again this week. You played against them 2 games ago, and you shut them out. What are going to be the keys to the game?
Well, I told him, I said, the biggest challenge we have this week, and I started day one talking about it. I said, it's hard to beat a team twice in the same season in football. I mean, you can do it in baseball and basketball, in soccer. You can do that, because you play them different times, that many times. But, it's hard because once you beat somebody, they're going to be, they know what you're going to do, and they're going to be, ready for you and stuff. And, I don't like the word revenge because we're playing a game, but I think they're going to have that, oh, I didn't like that, kind of attitude. And so you got to be ready for that. So I think it's a real deal. The reason we're playing, we don't normally do this, but the reason we're doing it is because of the COVID. Because travel, we had 2 teams from Fort Myers area, and one of them called and said they couldn't come up here. They couldn't travel out of their county. And then we had another team that was supposed to be playing, and they didn't have enough kids coming back to their school to play football, and so they went to 8-man instead of 11-man. So, so we're scrambling, and that's, and the athletic director called ours and said, "Would you like to play twice?" Makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You don't have to travel too far.
Yeah.
So, those things are good. I don't like, that's one thing I don't like about football right now is the bus rides. They're not good. We have two pretty good buses. One of them is called the prison bus because it was made for elementary school kids, and they're supposed to be 3 on a seat. Well, you can't really sit, 3 big people on a seat. I'm okay, but anybody that's taller than 5'7", their knees are in the back of the seat and stuff. So, but now we have to take 2 buses because you can go, person per seat. So the kids don't like it because it's got a great AC. But sometimes banging around in those old buses, I'll tell you. We were going to Canary Express one time, and we were up in Orlando, and I was right behind the bus driver, and we were on that, what's it called, the Beltline, where you're outside. What's that called, that road where you actually go around Orlando? It's called the Beltway or something like that. I can't remember.
I think so, yeah.
Something like that. But anyway, so we're going along, and as we're driving along, I'm thinking, we just saw that's toll station. It's the same one. And so we got up and turned around, and we're coming back again, and I said, "Excuse me," I said, "Wasn't that the same toll station?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Are we lost?" He says, "I got good news and bad news." I said, "What's the bad news?" He said, "We're lost." I said, "What's the good news?" He said, "We're making good time." Honest, true story. I could not make that up. I'm going, we're making good time.
No, I guess there's always a bright side.
I guess so.
Coach, I've just got 2 questions for
Sure.
you. First question is, obviously last year you led Keswick to the playoffs. This year you're going back to the playoffs as well. You've coached at a lot of different schools and have had success at different schools for so many years. What led you to Keswick specifically to kind of come in here and build up the program to now where they're back into the playoffs consecutive years now?
Well, it's kind of interesting. I was over at Canterbury, and I was there, had been there for this is my 4th year there, and I was an assistant. And every year I was assistant, I said, I need to be a head coach. I need to be a head coach. And the guy wasn't going to leave. And so I had already talked to my son, who was coaching at it's kind of called Pine Lake Prep up in North Carolina. And he's a head football coach up there. And so I thought, well, if I got to be an assistant coach, I'll be assistant coach for him. I'll just go up there. So I'm out taking the gate at a baseball game. And, this is in spring. And here comes Coach King walking up to me. And she says, "How do you like it here?" I said, "Great place." I said, "I really like it." I said, "I'm not coming back. I got to be a head coach." She said, "We're looking for one." And that was on a Thursday. On Friday, I interviewed with Mr. Stratus and her. And they did some checking and all that kind of stuff. And then Saturday they called and said I had it. And Monday we start spring football.
I got it's a pretty quick turnaround in terms
but
of.
I'll tell you this: it's a great place. 2 reasons I wish I would have been able to be here sooner. Number one is because it's like when I was at Shorecrest, when it was first there, it was a great place to be. It was a place that was educating children. The teachers would stop and give extra help. It was all directed towards the kids. And then when I left there, because they started putting up all these new buildings and stuff, it was no longer they're educating children. They were just in business, and so that changed a lot. But I think that's the number one thing that's really nice about here. The second thing is I was told at Shorecrest there's a lot of different religions over there. I had a kid one time play for me, and he had a necklace and had a bead on it. And if he'd have lived in India, he'd have been a prince. Well, he couldn't take that off, so we had to tape around it so they couldn't see it. because you're not supposed to wear anything like that. We had, I know we had Buddhists, we had Jewish people, we had, a lot of different. So what I did is I would pray in the end zone before the game, and it was just generic. I didn't pray Jesus. I just prayed God, and and second game, the new head of school came down. He says, Coach, he says, do you pray in the end zone? I said, yeah. He says, I don't think you should do that. I said, well, I tried to explain it. And he said, no. He says, I said, whatever you want, you're the boss. And so it's great to me right now because I can sit here and tell you that God, had a purpose for me in my life. Anytime I want to, I gave the other night, I don't know how it got onto it, but I gave him my testimony. And, and sometimes my wife says, where did that come from? I said, I know where it came from, but it's not coming from me. Because I wouldn't be the coach I am without God. There's no doubt, without Jesus in my life. Because there's so many times I even walk away and think, why did I say that? Where did that come from? And when I pray at night, I thank him a lot. Because I know. I'm not the winningest coach. He's the winningest coach.
Second question, this last one for me
Sure.
is, you just mentioned it, being one of the most winningest coaches, here in the county and whatnot. What's kind of kept you at the high school level, in terms of what connections do you have here that instead of going and trying your hand in college football and things like that?
That's a good question. I probably about second or third year, I had some real good teams over at Shorecrest, and the recruiters are all coming in. And it's interesting because as you talk to the recruiters, I don't talk just football and talk about my kids. I talk about, everything, life and stuff. And I was amazed at the number of those guys that had divorces that and were remarried, had divorces and hadn't got remarried, and had kids that they haven't seen, and I kept thinking, why is that happening? And then you think about it. Well, shoot, they're down here recruiting, from, it's usually like they start a little bit in December and then they come down, they're here 2 or 3 months away from their families. And I don't know, I guess that's, to me, the other thing is I think I get a lot of, I get excited when I see kids improve. And I think when you see a kid that's a freshman and he's never played football and he doesn't even know, when you start to talk to him, I said, you need contain on that, it means keep him inside. And Coach, what does contain mean? But, you see there where they get success. And, I guess that kind of, what keeps me going, I guess that keeps me going too, because I like to see the kids. And it's interesting. I've had kids that have played at Florida State and all over the place. And I've got 3 of them right now. I got one that's playing at Benedictine in Illinois. I got another one that's playing, 2 of them are playing in Geneva in Pennsylvania. And I've got one at Peru State in Nebraska. And those are small schools, but those kids are having a great time, and they're getting, think about the life experiences that they're having. Yeah. It's amazing. So, that's the question. I don't know.
So it's kind of the idea of just staying here with your family, and really just seeing the kids themselves develop and grow, not just as players, but just as people as well.
Right. And, it's interesting. I think probably that's why I've stayed in one area is, like I said, I see these kids who, played for me and are 50 years old, and you see what they're doing and you say, good job. Not that I don't think I had that much to do with it. Now, someone will say that I did, but, it's nice to, and it's neat to have, Facebook is a neat thing. Of course, I know, we just need to be smart. That's what it's, what's the other ones, the new ones now? Snapchat, yeah, those. Well, I'm still Facebook. It doesn't make a difference. I just got on. I think it's cool. But I get kids that played for me when I first started. So they're 49 years ago, that played for me up in Illinois. And because I'm on Facebook, they've all of a sudden they found me and stuff.
Yeah.
And some of those guys are already retired. But it's interesting. A couple of them played wrestle for me in 6th grade and played for me in football. And they still talk about, things that I said. I don't remember too much what my coaches said, 40 years ago. But those guys did. So apparently someplace, I hit a nerve or got those guys,
I imagine the sense of pride it gives you, the fact that they would remember something that far back and makes you feel really proud of yourself in terms of, and just of them as well.
Right.
That they were able to take your teachings and remember it for that long, and really apply it to their own lives.
Yeah. Gail Sayers just died, just recently, and the running back for the Bears, and my kid that played quarterback for me up there, he sent it down. And he says, "I'll never forget." He said that Gail Sayers in the meeting when he got the most valuable player for the NFL that year, he said he didn't know if the people in this big room if you pray, but he said, "I'm going to tell you." He said, "If you do," he says, "when you hit your knees tonight," he said, "say a prayer for Brian Piccolo because he was dying of cancer, because Pick needs your help." And he sent that to me, and I thought, and I said, "That sounds familiar." And he says, "Coach," he says, "I know where I heard it." I said, so.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That's awesome, Coach. It's great to hear that just the impact you've had on all these players throughout the years, and the impact that football has had on your life.
It was interesting. Football's been our life. So I got down here, I'm coaching, and then my son played for me, and he played center and he played middle linebacker. Somebody said, "Why'd you put him at center?" I said, "Well, if we get the ball snapped, we're in good shape." So anyway, he played for me. So at the same time, my daughter is on the cheerleading squad, and so my wife she was like, she was my hydration specialist. So she'd carry the water bottles down the field. So then my daughter graduates, my son goes off to college, and he becomes a college coach. He coached at Davidson for 21 years. And my daughter is our cheerleading coach now. And so one day we're out on the field, and I got a timeout call, and I'm talking to the guys, and they're going, "Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am." And I'm going, "Thank you, ma'am. What the heck? You don't. And I didn't think it. So I turn around. We're starting to run off the field. Here's my wife and my daughter, and they're carrying the water. Well, we didn't have water boys that time, but we won that night. So guess what?
They stayed.
All right. So then, coming along, my daughter had Bryce, and she's a single mom, and became a single mom, I think, when he's about 3. And so he's been my gym rat. Like, "Coach, are you going to go over to the gym?" "Yeah." You go over and you shoot baskets, you do whatever he's doing, just hangs around. So here's a gym rat. He's right here with me too. So I've been very, 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 very blessed. I'm telling you, very blessed.
So football's been something that's been integrated in basically every member of your family.
Oh yeah. It's a what do they call it? Family job or family vote or whatever.
It's a family business kind of deal.
Family business.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun, And you talk about being blessed. I'm so blessed that I'm here because it's just Mr. Stratus, when he interviewed me, he said, "Now, Coach," he says, "I'm going to hire you." He said, "Don't worry about it." He said, "But," he says, "I just kind of give me a feel. How long are you going to do it?" He says, "Are you just going to do it until Bryce graduates?" Because Bryce came over in 7th grade. Or he says, he says, "Just tell me." I said, "Nick, here's the deal." I said, "I'm going to coach until I die. And when I do, I'm going to be on the sidelines, and I'll fall forward and gain yards like every good running back should." And he goes, "You got the job."
It's in your blood.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah. But and the one thing is, I've never been. I don't want players playing football all year round. I think you need to play basketball, soccer. I think each one of them does different things, from baseball, track. I think I love to see kids playing all sports, and so I'm not a full-time guy. That's not me either.
Yeah.
I've held you up long enough.
I think that was great. Questions, yeah.
Okay. All right.
I really appreciate you taking the time to
Sure.
do this interview.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll hit the ground running tomorrow night, and we'll get things going. Oh, we're going to move our senior night to next week, not this week, but next week, because I'm getting you get concerned. I keep seeing these teams having their senior nights, and the reason they're doing it is because if COVID outbreak hits, then you got that happened to our baseball teams and softball teams.
Yeah.
That was a bad thing. So I'm going to move it up. We're going to do that next week. So, at least we'll get it in and go from there. So
sounds good.
So there you have it. You got to hear a little bit from head coach Phil Hayford. Friday night's matchup pits the Keswick Crusaders at home against Indian Rocks Christian School. Keswick's going to look to continue their hot streak, and Indian Rocks is hoping to get revenge from the last time they played. If you're interested in watching the game, you can watch it live at the Keswick Athletics YouTube page. I'm going to post a link for that in the description of the video so you can check that out. And if you watch it live, you're going to hear some pretty special announcers. This guy. And I will be joined by color commentator, and many of you know him, Mr. Bucks Nation. So, if you want to watch the game live, go ahead and head over to the Keswick Athletics YouTube channel. You can watch it live tomorrow night. The game's at 7. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got for you. See you next time.